Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. So you're out camping, you want to have a nice fire, the ground is really dry and you're worried about starting a forest fire. This might be an excellent solution to that. Alright, thanks for coming back and joining me today. Today I'm going to show you this Trailblazer portable fire hammock. You know, I first saw this over on Bud K or C.H. Cadell's, they're one and the same, and I thought it was a great idea. I've been in a lot of areas throughout my later years in life where there's always fire restrictions, and in Nevada this probably wouldn't float because it's no open flame. You know, you can use butane stoves and propane stoves, but you can't actually use an open fire. But in some areas this might work out pretty well for you. Also too, this is a really neat open fire pit. Like for my backyard, this would be no big deal, but you know, whereas doing a burn on the ground might be a big deal. So we're going to go outside and test it out, but I want to put it together for you and I want to show you what it looks like. My only complaint with this is there's not a lot of instructions. Now, it's not a difficult thing to figure out, but there are some questions when you're putting it together and you're like, where does this go, you know? So, this is the box it comes in. It is a really safe way to enjoy outdoor fires if you've got ground that's kind of possible flammable, you know, stuff where you don't want to be burning. Maybe you got dry grass, dead leaves, whatever. It's about what is it? In use, it's 16.5 inches by 16.5 inches and 12.5 inches in the height. Folded, it's about 26 inches long and about 4 inches in diameter. Getting this out of here can be fun. Because the mesh screen likes to catch on everything. And this is a metal mesh screen. Okay. Now this guy, again, this is one of those things where a simple one-page instruction manual might have, you know, kind of explained it. Fairly simple. I mean, you just push it out until it's flush. Of course, that's not the way to do it. See, I get on camera and then I forget how to do everything. There we go. I think that's it. Yep, there we go. So it's a nice wide surface. I mean, that's a pretty big area. It can hold up to 12 pounds of wood. And you just stack it up there, light it up. The heat-resistant mesh will take care of it. And at first I was kind of wondering about this too, because this mesh, if you can see, is really kind of thin. And I was thinking, you know, like a screen door. If I were to set fire on a screen door, it would burn through. But this stuff's actually made to do this. Now here's another issue where I wish they would have given us a little more instruction. The holes here. I want to get a close-up on this. You see the hole at the end of that thing there, and you got your little thing here, and some people put it in like that. Some people have tried to latch it. There's a trick to doing this. Let's hope I can capture it on camera. You want to close these both together, but you want to do it from up on top of the mesh there. And you want to stick them in right in there like that. Then fold it up. And there you go. So it's pretty simple and it's pretty self-explanatory, but you know, there's sometimes you without instructions you're kind of wondering, you're left wondering, where does this go? How does this work? Sometimes it's really, really important and sometimes it isn't. You know, I was kind of concerned at first that, you know, I'd put it in and it wouldn't be in there right and it would just fall right out. So I'm going to snap the rest of this together and show you what it looks like assembled. All right, we got it all together. And again, this kind of assembles like one of those camp chairs. It's fairly simple. It's actually pretty sturdy when you look in the middle here. And don't worry if this is up like this, curved upwards. Once you put stuff in here, it's going to go down. You'll be fine. It is about 2 pounds, okay? So this is not lightweight backpacking gear. Maybe car camping if you want to have a bonfire, you know, a little bit if there's no fire area set up in some camp area. Something like this would be awesome. And I suppose you could roast marshmallows over it, cook hot dogs over it. One of the things I want to do in a later video is try cooking bannock bread on a stick. You know, put it on a stick and just roast it. And this would be perfect for something like that. Again, the pack here. Hope I can get this all in the camera because I have it kind of close. Anyway, here you go. Here's the whole pack. It's got straps on the side to lash it onto a backpack. But it's not really something that I'd be trudging through with my bug out bag with, you know? it's kind of a big item, it's kind of heavy, and you know, a small little rocket stove or something would work just as well for cooking food. This is actually not designed for cooking food. So let's take it outside. Let's load it up with some wood and let's see how it performs. All right, we got it up there with a little bit of wood in the middle of it. I'm not going to build an enormous fire in this. I will let it run a little bit and see how it performs, but that's a good start. I have my little fire starter down here, some dryer lint with some fat wood I scraped on it. We're going to give it a go. And I'm going to try to stick it in the middle there to get everything going. There we go. That's going. We'll put some wood on top of that. See how this works. Whoop, I don't want to put that on there. That's a piece of fat wood. There you go. And there you go. So I'll come back once it's really going. Alright, so there you go. Easy enough to get a fire started on it. And you got that nice kind of wind blowing up from the bottom too. It's definitely an open fire. Let me give you a quick look at it from above. There you go. So all in all, I'm impressed with it. It does what it's supposed to do. I'm not sure about anything other than maybe a camping scenario where this might be handy, or maybe a way to get some warmth when it's really cold and the ground's cold and you want to try to dig through the snow and start a fire. But it definitely does what it's advertised to do. And it seems to be a nice clean fire too. I mean, this is very old wood. This is very old dry wood that I chopped up the other day for this video. But it's definitely burning nice and clean. I don't see a ton of smoke off it. There's a little bit of smoke coming underneath, you know, underneath here. The legs are cold. It's a little warm up in this area. But the ends here are, you know, still touchable. I imagine if you had a big, huge bonfire going in it, it might take a little bit of, you know, might heat up these areas a little bit. But so far, doing pretty good, and I'm pretty impressed with it. It's a nice low surface too, so it's not too high. You know, if you wanted to cook something on it, you could easily stick something on a stick and, you know, cook it over a fire, like I had mentioned before. Let's see what it looks like under here. Yeah, not seeing any kind of huge stains. Thankfully, I caught that piece of fat wood, so I didn't have a bunch of fat wood sap all over the bottom. But it does seem to be doing what it's supposed to do. Push it around a little bit. There you go. And toss that in there too. Burning the wood very quickly, actually. And I mean, again, this is old wood, but it's burning it up pretty quickly, and not a lot of smoke. It is mildly windy out here. It's not super windy, and this wood does burn very well. So there you go. That's the Trailblazer fire hammock. So we're going to let this burn out, and I'm going to take it back inside and give you my final impressions on it. All right, so there it is after the burn. The only way I know it's ever been used is this kind of has this color case hardening look to it, you know, that kind of swirled different blue and brown colors to it. Worked pretty well, did what it was supposed to do. I think for a campsite, this would be awesome. You know, if you have a campsite where there's no designated fire area, but you are legal to have a fire, something like this would be great. And another thing I noticed really too, now I didn't build a huge raging bonfire in this thing. It was a small little fire, but when I shut off the camera and I dumped the embers in my little rocket stove I built out there out of bricks, I was like, let's see if this is hot. And I'm touching it, I'm like, are you kidding me? It was ice cold within seconds. So I think the surface area being so, you know, meshy and thin lets it cool off fairly quick. So I'm gonna pull it apart and just see how quickly. Now I noticed there was one other video on this on YouTube, and the gentleman who shot the video had a hard time. You can kind of really see the colors. See? That's kind of cool looking. Had a really hard time putting it back in the bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do that. It comes apart fairly simple, as you saw. I'm going to try and roll it as tight as I can. Nice tight roll there. Because I think that was some of his problem too. He had it kind of rolled very loosely, and he ended up tying the screen to the side. Now I've put it back in here before, because I kind of took it out, looked at it before I shot the video, and stuck it back in. And it was kind of difficult to get it back in there. But I seem to have mastered that now. That was not as difficult as the first time. Push it down in there. Get the screen down in there. And I know I'm out of camera here, but there you go. All done. So it's not too difficult to pack up. You just have to roll it up really, really tightly when you're rolling up that mesh. And fairly compact package. Again, it's 2 pounds. It's not something I'm going to be putting in an ultralight backpack. But, you know, during an emergency where you need some heat and you're in your garage, sitting out front of your garage, you know, make yourself a little fire, not make a big mark on your concrete driveway. In a situation where you're camping somewhere and the ground is kind of dry and lots of dead leaves and you don't want to start a fire, something like this may work. Now, it's not a guarantee you won't start a fire, because this is an open fire. Embers can fly off, whatever. But it seemed to do a pretty good job. So that is the Trailblazer portable fire hammock. You can pick these up from my link below. From what I've seen, I have a link to Amazon, and they seem to be the best price right now. But don't forget to check Bud K once in a while, or CH Cadell's, because they also have them on sale. So anyway, that's the video for today, and I thank you for watching. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.